Okay, so on to the main event. This is Little Red. Little Red is getting some parts. We are actually going to try and install a 212 motor on this buggy. It was already kind of set up for it, but as you can see, that motor plate, no good. So we got one off of Amazon. We'll have to grind that thing off and get it all cleaned up. We purchased up a new CVT or torque converter, however you want to call it, because this one, the spring is shot. You can see it sticking out there, and it just looks like it's seen better days. So we just went and got, it's like, I don't know, 40 bucks for this whole kit. And again, this is the mini bike motor, but we're going to use this for mock-up, and depending on when the mini bike is finished at powder coating, we might throw this on just to see how this thing actually performs. So first things first, we're going to rip this thing off. It's like barely hanging on anyway. The only thing that we need like the slides for is to get the belt tension. The chain tension is all done through this thing, so it will either raise or lower, make that belt or that chain tight or not. And then pretty much once this is on, I mean, this thing will start going quickly if we decide to put this mini bike motor on it. And then, I don't know, we'll see if we decide to do a stage 2 build on another 212 we got here. And if we do, this thing's gonna be fast. Might be too fast. We'll see. The wife really likes to ride this one around, but once it's actually running correctly, she can do that. This one, it's gonna be hard to kind of, I don't want to say it would be hard to flip, but it's going to be harder than this one. And if this one's the same speed as this one, it's going to be a little sketchy. So I might be the one piloting this. The wife might be the one piloting this when we're just doing our everyday thing. All right, so let's rip that off. Let's get it, start grinding, and cue the time lapse. Someone did not know what they're doing with this jack shaft. So bad. Alright, here's this thing. I mean, someone did not know how to weld, which is fine, but it's easier for me to take off that way. So we're gonna go ahead and grind this smooth, get a nice open or bare metal surface, and then start mocking up the motor. Okay, so we have this thing completely cleaned off and all the bad welds and stuff, and it's ground down enough. I think we're gonna bring it inside. I might put a coat of weld through primer on it just so it doesn't flash rust with all the humidity we have, but yeah, so there's that. Then we'll put the plate on it, or put the motor on the plate, and then we'll put the plate on here to get our distance and start welding it in. So we are putting this thing together. I mounted up the driven pulley with the gear on it.
I mounted up the drive pulley. This is not final position for this, because this bolt is too short, but the only one I could find that could screw into this. So now we need to bolt that onto that loosely, and then throw it on here to get the alignment between there, and then we can tack it. So it's hopefully it will be easy enough. So here's where we're at. I think I got the pulleys lined up pretty good, but I don't know how they had this thing on here, if they had a different motor or what, but I mean, what's the point of putting the plate on? I'm just gonna have to drill through this anyway. Might as well just drill through the square tubing and make the mounts there. I mean, I'm sure that this would make it stronger, but I mean, that could be just a gusset in between here and here. So I don't know, that's kind of something I gotta figure out whether what I want to do. I mean, this is pretty good spacing here. I don't know. Seems like it's working pretty good just like that. Maybe I'll just mark them there, drill it, and bolt it in and see what happens. Sorry guys, my big camera died from doing the time lapse, but this thing is on there, the bolts are in. They're not long enough, so they're not tight, but I mean, that thing looks pretty spot on there. We could have a little bit of adjustment, you know, from spacing it out, but think about throwing this thing on the cart and seeing what it looks like. I mean, other than this, it's you know, a throttle cable away and a chain. Put the chain on, which I think we have, but we also need to put the brake caliper on. So let me throw this thing on the cart real quick, and then I'll show you all what it looks like. Alright, so it's on there. I mean, not fully bolted in, but it's in the holes. I mean, that's in. Everything's lined up. Like, this thing's pretty sweet, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Contemplating doing a stage 2 motor. Don't know yet. Don't quote me on it, but we'll see what happens. But yeah. Alright, so I think we're gonna call it for this video. I already got quite a bit of time lapse and whatnot, and really the rest of it's just kind of getting some bolts and nuts to secure everything down. We'll probably use this motor because we still haven't heard anything from the powder coaters from the mini bike. So this is the mini bike's motor. But if I can get this thing 100% set up, brakes, throttle cable, and we gotta do the seats, the bottom of the seats. I mean, this thing will be ready to ride around for the most part. I need to bolt
bolt the cage down all the way. Need to bolt the seats down all the way. But yeah, this thing is sweet. I really enjoying this one. I don't probably because of the full suspension, everything's going together real nicely. CVT, big axle or big sprocket. I don't know. I'm really liking this. If you guys like this one, hit the like button. But yeah, so we're gonna end it off. I'm gonna get this pretty much the rest of the way on, and probably next video is us gonna be riding it around. So we'll see y'all on the next one.